Okay. We're off to the races, Joe.
All right, great. Well, thanks everyone for joining us this June of 2024 for our Cloudy County Community Call. And usually, what we do for this for our community is start off with what's new, a little bit of that going on, what has changed in our M365 world, things that are coming soon, or things that we can show you that hopefully have reached your organizations. And then we'll usually dive into something deep. This time we're going to mix it up a little bit and cover um, kind of a wide range of different tools that we use or find helpful to other people all across Microsoft 365, or perhaps just your operating system or some tools that are easy to find and can help you. I think some of these are around presenting a little bit easier and or maybe making some screen recordings, but we'll dive into those. It's going to be kind of a round robin of things going on there. I'll get us kicked off, Dwayne. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this is Joe's power
And
hour, basically.
yeah, on some what's new. First thing I'm going to talk about is something that's not here yet, but it is something that has been talked about. I feel like it's been almost 2 years ago that is finally starting to see life for us to be able to start seeing what it looks like, start talking about it. It's called Microsoft Places. Just going to cover this briefly. We'll drop a link into the chat here, give you an idea about it, and cover it later. But for I know a lot of us, we are maybe now in a hybrid world. We've got people work coming into the office certain days, um, trying to keep track of your team, where they are, good times to meet, good times to have meetings. Maybe you've got um, monthly meetings or biweekly meetings where you'd really like to have people in the office. Microsoft Places can help with some of those problems we have where we're kind of a hybrid world. Or maybe we are a place where we can just come in anytime we want and we've got a desk available somewhere. And I think they call it hot desking. This tool can help with some of those kind of a solution to those kind of issues of planning where you're going to be, planning a location of where your team is at, and be able to kind of track and see and help us kind of sometimes get back together when we're working hybrid. Just briefly show kind of some of the screenshots here. It's integrated with your email. Be able to see if you've got an in-person event coming up, some things like where you want to be in the office for will help you see some of that. But yeah, we'll just drop a quick little link in, and you can kind of cover that more. It's public, it's private preview now, so I think it takes a little bit of effort, extra effort to sign up for this. Certain organizations might be able to do it, but I'll drop that into our chat. I'm going to follow up on that a little bit more. But that's not something you're experienced yet in, Dwayne. You haven't seen this hit not anywhere yet. Okay.
This is very new.
Yeah.
It was announced a couple of years ago. I think you and I saw it announced at one of the Microsoft conferences. So it's been in the works and being polished and refined for quite a while. I suspect this will make a really good Cloudy County topic in the nearest future. We'll probably dedicate a whole meeting just to kind of explain the use case and how and where and when you would use this tool. So
Yeah, definitely. Something else that is coming to Microsoft Excel. This is going to be in Excel for Windows and Mac, we're going to get something to do with something called regular expressions. They can be a bit complicated to work with, but what they are is a way to extract and access um, cumbersome data, I guess I would call it. Uh, Easy to kind of just look at an example here. How often do we get tossed some data that is difficult to work with? And you can see in this case, we're looking at an issue where we've got not just a column with mashed up together, names and phone numbers mushed together, but even in the same row, we've got multiple data fields. And these tools are going to come out and give us the ability to fix that when we get these Excel formulas available to us. Regular expressions, if we've talked about it on this one of our previous calls, Microsoft Copilot can help you with this. So you can use Copilot to give it some examples of your data, and like I would like a regular expression on how to parse that out, the pieces that I really want. And you're going to be able to bring that and use your tool of choice often when working with this kind of data, Microsoft Excel. Drop a few more links here in the chat for that. And
along the same lines, but not exactly along the same lines, is the web version of Copilot. Like if you just go to copilot.microsoft.com, I have used that so many times when I have a list of names like what Joe just had on the screen, that formatting is just kind of janky, and it's maybe whatever you copied it from, it came over weird. Or if you copied it out of like Outlook and you had numerous extra bits of piece, how sometimes when you copy from Outlook, you have like those little like angular bracket things and then
right,
display
so
name
around
in the
the
middle
name
of it.
and
Yeah,
full
you just
name
got all
and
this
email
extra
address.
stuff. You're like, all I need are all of the email addresses separated by a semicolon. Well, you can take that whole mess of text and not knowing anything about regex or any of that complicated stuff and just dump it all into Copilot and say, please format this in a list of email addresses separated by semicolon. And it will just do it all for you. So I think that's a very worthy tool to keep in your back pocket.
Or if
What are you doing, Joe?
I was gonna go for a quick demo,
You're
but
getting carried away. I can tell.
I'll keep going. Just something that the ability to work with images in Copilot.
Mhm.
But we'll keep going on here. Copy that in. I was just gonna see, could it pull that out of there? A couple links there for regex, and again, Copilot can really get you pretty far on some of these things that we definitely see our extension agents dealing with often. Next one we're going to cover is just a few items that are new for May. And one of them that's pretty key, that's helpful for us in education, is Clipchamp. If you've not heard of Clipchamp, it was a product acquired a little while ago by Microsoft, and it is an online video editing tool. It has features for transitions, trimming, merging videos, bringing in text overlays, captioning. Got pretty much most things you'd want to get a good presentation recorded and updated and edited. But this has been a struggle to have a tool with this quality and this number of features available in education. This tool has been available outside of education in the Microsoft suite, but this is now coming for us in education. You may find it already installed. I'm on Windows 11 here, and I've got a Clipchamp built-in app available.
This is going to also be integrated into the web OneDrive experience. Like if you have a video file, Teams meeting recording in your OneDrive, you can just click the three little dots and say edit in Clipchamp, and it will shoot you over into the web version of Clipchamp where you can edit or draw or whatever you want to do to that video.
And um, it's an online video editor, but the processing of your content is done locally, so it takes advantage of the power of your computer to do this. So it's sort of like an online app, but it's really doing all the processing with that video on your computer. So that's really nice. So it really just it will integrate with your, like Dwayne was saying, your OneDrive, SharePoint, Teams, where those files might live, but you're not trying to imagine processing a large file back and forth through a cloud connection. This is all done locally for you.
Yeah.
But you can see you've got the ability to bring in music effects and bring in stock photo, graphics, text overlays.
I need to see, I don't want to speak, I don't want to say too much because I don't know if I'm right. But I think I'll shut up. Maybe I shouldn't say it. Like, I'm not sure if all of those things that say premium are going to be enabled or not.
Yeah, I've got, I don't remember who I'm logged in right now as, probably the local computer account. I've got the ability to go premium, but yeah, I'm not sure what I can see. There's little icons down here that have certain features that have a little, diamond on them for the premium.
Like for my family personally, I have the Microsoft 365 for families subscription, which gives me, Office on 5 computers. Each member of my family gets like a terabyte of storage in OneDrive and all those types of things. And my son uses Clipchamp, and he has access to some of the premium capabilities just because we have that subscription. Like, I didn't do anything extra to get Clipchamp. So I'm not sure how it's going to work in education, but if you see all the things that Joe's clicking on, like, he went through text and transitions, and there's shapes and all kinds of stuff, like the graphics part. If you click on where it says graphics, you'll see like all kinds of like arrows and annotation things that you can do. There's all kinds of pieces and parts you can add to a video. And as you look at this more, you start to see like, hey, this is actually like a full blown like video editor that would let me create a tutorial without buying anything. That's the powerful part. That's one of the things that Joe and I always try to make sure that we highlight and show are tools that don't cost you any money, as much as we possibly can. So
yeah, this will be nice. I know we've got some content creators around that put up their work up on to help with their up on Facebook to help drive people to their events and things like that. I think this will really help kind of kick that up a bit.
Now, is this a competitor to like Final whatever Pro or something, from Adobe?
From Adobe products and things like that? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think so. I guess the things I would ask is number one, like, if you're a professional video editor, this tool might be underwhelming to you, maybe. But this tool will be available to everybody in the entire EDU organization. So that means every single person will have at least this power for editing video, which is significantly more power than we had in the Windows Photos app. I mean, you could trim videos and move things together and stuff like that with Windows Photos. But this takes it to a much higher level of capability. So I used Windows Photos to make lots of tutorial videos. In fact, probably videos that a lot of you have watched for like the NETC conferences and stuff. We made those using Windows Photos. But if I'd have had this, I probably would have used this. I didn't have this though.
Yeah. Captioning questions. Yeah, there are some captioning capabilities in here.
Yep. Yeah, that's really cool. Transcription is something across M365 that, that doesn't surprise me that this tool would have that as well. That's built into Microsoft Stream. You can transcribe stuff using Microsoft Word. We've talked about that before. Maybe we could even show that.
It'd be a
I
good tip.
wasn't on our cool tips and tricks, was it? I
It,
can't remember.
it is. It is.
Okay,
We'll see what
never
we can
mind.
get through. So,
I'll shut up. Joe's telling me to shut up.
well, we'll try. Well, great. Yeah, that's. Anyways, looking forward to that. I think it's coming pretty soon. So this
Into
is
this month,
definitely
yeah.
getting ready
Yeah.
to roll out. So
Yeah.
start looking for that to hopefully and be enabled for your organization and have that. Let us know if you end up seeing that soon. The other thing that I want to talk about that is new or rolling out is there's some tools in here that um, Microsoft Teams, Microsoft 365. Again, we're talking. We talk a lot of higher education, but it's also got a lot of tools geared through K through 12. And with it being summer out there, and some people I'm sure on the call have some children, there are some tools out there that are kind of interesting to keep your kids learning through. I would say through the summer. One of them is a reading progress tool. There's a few others that are in preview coming out. The reading progress tool. I did a little practice demo on this. Basically, you're given a small chunk of text to read, um, and the tool records you, and then basically, gives you an idea of how well you read that back to the computer. So, this is an example. I read a short blurb on how plastics recycled, um, and if we can kind of go read something else, we've got a bunch of different little blurbs you can read. You can pick one of these, and you start reading. It records what you're saying on the screen and then gives you feedback. There's a number of learning and literacy tools that Microsoft has in the works. This is one that's available to anyone right now. So we'll drop a little link in there about this. Do that right now into our chat. One more thing that I want to talk about that's new has come to Microsoft Forms. So I've got an example form here. I've got a team lunch planning survey. Very simple. I'm looking to pick a day of the week, try to get the team together, and what type of food we want to eat, something like this. Let's say I'm the boss, and I really hope people pick Wednesday and barbecue. Nothing wrong with that, right? Right, Drain? So what I have an option now that's rolling out is I'm up in my little menu here. I've got get pre-filled URL. I can click this option. I can turn this feature on. And when it's off right now, you can see I can't select from these options here. But if I turn that on, now I can say, you know what? I want a pre-filled form with Wednesday and barbecue. And now I can get a pre-filled link. Copy that link.
As much as I love Wednesdays and barbecue, I can see a lot of people. Yeah, I was gonna say. So a lot of people are gonna be like, "What? That's weird." So yeah, Jackie already put it in the chat. That's sneaky. It's a good way to get the barbecue that you want. However, I would position this as maybe you have default answers that you could say, like, if you don't fill anything out, this is what you get. Just so that you could collect responses or survey responses or something like that. So think about it not so much of what do I want people to pick, like how do I want to influence people to pick something? It's what do I want to happen if the people don't want to go through the effort of actually filling out each question. So you could have some data point in there that you could use as like a placeholder or a fallback of some kind,
Yeah, no, definitely
or
a
pick
fun
barbecue.
little trick here for this purpose. But yeah, I could see having a drop down list that is maybe you're sending this out. Maybe you've got a form that maybe has dual purposes of some sort. Maybe there's a drop down that relates to types of training that you provide, and you want to send this out to some people that are looking for a specific type of training. You could pre-select that drop down, and maybe the second question is some dates. So you could do something like that, and already kind of help them focus. Like, I know this group of people are interested in some master gardener training. Let's send that out. I already have a drop down populated for them. It will help you additionally get better data. We already love Microsoft Forms for intake because we can, again, specify exact types of questions and the answers. Take advantage of that. So that just showed up for me. So I think that is rolling out. I'm not sure if it's made it everywhere yet, but hopefully you can take a look if you use Forms. Maybe find a way to start taking advantage of that and help your form fillers get you better data and reply back often. I think that is it for what's new that we want to cover. And yep, that will do it.
Is it tips and tricks time, Joe?
It's tips and tricks.
Okay.
Um,
So normally we do like a specific application that we highlight, talk about its capabilities and applicabilities and all those types of things. But every once in a while, and I would say some of the more popular sessions at things like NETC and stuff like that, or when a bunch of nerds get together and they say, this is a cool gadget, like a round table of tools that do something cool that maybe not everybody knows about. So this is kind of a virtual edition of that. We're going to go through some tools that Joe and I both have used and find very valuable, that are free and easy to get, that enhance your life a little bit, right? Your working day. So, Joe, you going to kick us off with some stuff?
yeah, I can do that. Um,
I don't want to step
let's
on your toes because I have some things on my computer, but they might overlap with yours.
Yeah, no
So,
problem. If you want to take over right now, you can do that. Um, I'll keep going. I'm
o-
going to dive into Excel and things that I wish I'd learned earlier and started doing earlier. I'm looking at maybe something that you might do is I've been tracking some information um, monthly for quite a while. And this is how I used to do it. I've got a little blurb a little chunk of information every month. Got its own little header. It's got its own little totals, replies. Just started out this way quickly and just kept continuing on and doing it. And there's a better way. There's a better way to do this, um, and that is using Microsoft Excel table structure, a true table structure. Um, this is that same information in an actual table. So I kind of call that like an object in Excel. I'm just have some fake data here. I'm, this is not yet in a table. This is just some columns of data of information in here. But I want to turn this into a table, and then we can do more things with it. Once you turn it into a table, Excel can understand it better. Some of the other integrations into Excel work better when it understands your table and are there headers and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to just go on to Insert menu, and I'm somewhere inside this block of information, and I'm going to turn this into a table. Just click an Insert, and I've got some basic, simple options here, which is what is the range of my data? Where does it live? And it kind of automatically figured that out for me. And the other thing that's important here is I want to tell it that I've got headers. So as soon as I do that, I've got this table design. I've got some nice features automatically when I turn it into a table. I can do some filtering built in. I can do sorting, and it works and feels more like a database this way. Working with this way, I can change the colors around very easily. You can manipulate. Maybe the first column is important. Make it bold if you want, or last column. Sometimes last columns might be totals. Anyways, you can do that kind of process. Very simple, and then you can help. This helps you with some more powerful tools that are available to us. I did that to this collection of data. I've got my table here now. Now, how do I want to get back to some totals, I mean, some type of summary data of some sort. And the other thing that I just wish I'd be a little more comfortable with is a pivot table. So that is what I can use to help display this information in summary data. So um, with yeah, how did I get started with pivot tables? We're mostly just use this product to kind of display some examples and figure out kind of how they were working, um, and go from there. So I'm going to go back to my insert. I'm going to insert a pivot table. Um, I can insert right from this table that I'm in. I'm inside the table. It automatically figured out that I wanted the table that I had created, which is just called table one. I can put it into a new worksheet if I want to. I'm going to go ahead and just do that. And I start with this. Well, it's there's nothing there. There's nothing selected with my pivot table. Now, what know I want is I want something related to um, the year is important to me. I want something around my attendees, summary, and my replies. So I'm just checking off first, just what do I want? And by default, it's just starting to give me a little chart here of some information. Some of the year, that's not really helpful. Some of my attendees, some of the replies, that's helpful. So let's start working with this a little differently. I would like my rows to be every year. I want a 2019, 2020 row and give me some values of my attendees and replies for that. So I'm going to go down into my pivot table fields and I'm going to grab this year field. I'm going to drop it into my row. That's all I got to do there. And now I've got a little bit better idea of some of my attendees and some of my replies per year. I've got a grand total down there, just like that. Um, Now, one thing that's missing here is maybe I would like my average attendees. So for each session, so I'm just gonna grab my attendees again, and I'm gonna drag it down into the values field, and it's just gonna do a sum. It defaults to sum here, but I can come into this and make some decisions on what do I want this to show. Instead of sum, I've got some other options in here. One of those is average. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to pick average. And I can change my header while I'm in here. Just going to hit OK. And now I've got a column in that's showing my average attendees for each one of those years. I don't like that format, though. That's not really great. We don't have, you know, 4/10 of a person. We're going to bring those and fix that. So I'm going to go back into my values area, my average attendees. We're going to go back into the settings for that. And I've got number format options. So now I've got your typical formatting capabilities in Excel. I'm going to go to number. I'm going to drop that down get rid of my decimal places, come back through, and now I've got basically an integer showing up in here now. I can do some other things. Maybe I want replies at the end. So I can drag and move replies to the bottom. And I've got that set up that way now. Just some things that I wish I'd have really had started this journey a long time ago on making some of this data easier to work with. I'm going to stay in Excel, and then I'll pass it over to you, Dwayne. I'm going to bring up, let's see, bring up a sheet here. Other thing I can do with Excel is I can access external data. I can connect to other data sources. I've just got a blank worksheet here. I'm in the data tab, data menu, and I want to just say get data. Just take a look at this sometime. Get data. I can get data from, maybe I've got a CSV file laying around. Maybe I've got a PDF file that has a table in it. I can extract that. I can add databases that you might have access to. SQL Server, MySQL, if you've got the connection capabilities, Excel can talk to it. And the other one that I'm going to dive into right now is Microsoft Exchange Online. So I'm going to connect to a mailbox. Let's do, okay, I'm going to go to, oh, I've already got this Excel is already logged in and connected to my mailbox. So it didn't prompt me for that. Let me go back and show you. Let me cancel that. Let me go back and show you what you probably will see the first time. I chose something else here. Let me pick a UF. This is going to bring you up and give you two options on how to get to your mailbox. The first one you don't want to do. You don't want to use this one where you're putting in a password and stuff like that. You want to pick this account and sign in. And that'll pop up. You'll put in your organizational account, and you'll go through your standard authentication, and you'll get connected. Let's go back real quick. Now I'm connected to my mailbox, and one of the things I've got in here is calendar. I can look at all my calendar items, and I can just load that right into Excel. If you are someone who is using your calendar really well, tracking it, this would be an interesting way to kind of maybe at the end of the year or something like that come in and kind of catalog everything that you've done for that year, kind of export your calendar out. You could run some reports on this if you wanted to, how long you were in certain meetings, things like that. Anyways, just a quick way to expose you to this get data concept and capabilities here.
Be pretty interesting for an audience that has to track everything that they do and report on it at the end of the year, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you've got some, consistent naming to your meetings that you have and some things like that, you could use, the built-in powers of Excel to write yourself and run some of your reports. Yep.
Nice.
Dwayne, you want to have a hand at a few?
Yeah, I got a couple tools. I'm gonna get my demo computer is struggling today, but we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. For any of the tech people on the call, this might be a flashback for you. But for the non-tech people, it could be brand new. It's worth a look. There's a suite of free gadgets and gizmos that Microsoft's been building for a very long time. called sysinternals. Sysinternals, like I said, is just a collection of tools. Now, at first look, you might look at this and say like this is way too nerdy for me. I don't know proc dump for Linux. Like what the heck is that? Sysmon. Ignore all of those. There's one tool that I think would be very cool for this audience, and that is a tool called Zoomit. So the way that these tools work is you just get the specific tool that you want, and you download it onto your computer, and it runs in a folder. So in my case, it's not even an installer. So in my case, I've got in my OneDrive, I've got a folder called Tools, and inside of Tools, I have Zoomit. And that whole thing right there is Zoomit. That's the entire thing. In fact, you don't even really need half of those. So you could get rid of most of those files. You just need the one program. Now you're like, that's cool. What is Zoomit? Why do I care? Why do I care about Zoomit? Well, the reason why you care about Zoomit is it when you double click it and it runs down here at the bottom, like you're not really going to see much yet. It's connected to hotkeys that allow you to activate it. And so if I were to hit Control 1 on my keyboard, it zooms me in on my screen, hence the name Zoomit. Now, Zoomit does more than just zoom. So as I'm zoomed in, I can move my mouse around, and you can see that it's kind of like dragging me around on the computer. The next thing I can do with Zoomit is I can annotate on my screen. So the applicability of this is you're doing an online meeting, you have something on your screen that you want to show to somebody, or you're doing a lesson with stuff that you're looking at on your computer screen. Well, now your computer screen turns into like an interactive, zoomable whiteboard. So if I click my left mouse key, you might see that little red dot maybe kind of show up. And now I can just draw all over my screen. Another trick with it that I use a lot is if I hold the control button on my keyboard, it turns that drawing into a box. So I can draw box. I can do lines. So I can draw lines all over the place. So that one's Control Shift. It's a lot of keyboard shortcuts that you'll have to remember what to do and when. But once you get into the flow of using the tool, it becomes very, very natural. Like for me, I'm like, oh, I want to zoom in. I want to show you this. Well, okay, let me erase that. I can do Control Z to back out of it. You know, maybe that was, oops, wrong color. My bad. There's keyboard shortcuts to erase all the ink, and you can change the color. So if you're annotating different things, I can hit the B key on my keyboard and it changes the pen to blue. I can hit G and get green, or I can hit Y and get yellow, which is awful in almost all cases.
You need dark mode there. You need dark mode.
Like I guess it just, so you're aware of what the background is, okay. You can pick the right color ink. You can also start a break. I do this a lot. I teach a lot of online classes now, and sometimes you talk to people for an hour or two straight and they need a break from you. So this is a great way to just throw up a quick timer that counts down. You continue to share your screen like I'm doing right now, and you all see a countdown timer, and we know how much time we have left. All of those options and buttons and keyboard shortcuts and all those things, if you click down by your clock and you open Zoomit and go into options, you can configure what all those buttons do, and you can configure different parameters. Like maybe you want to zoom in a little less. So this is 2x zoom. Maybe you want to go 1.75 or something. You can do that. You can also explore and see all of the different things that you can do. The drawing one is very complex. You can see there's a lot of text there. Draw a straight line by holding the shift key. Draw a arrow by holding shift control. Like there's a lot of options. So just read through this stuff. And also you can change your duration of your break right here. So maybe you just want to give people a 5-minute break or a 15-minute break. Just change it there and hit Control 3 and boom, you got a timer. So Zoom It, sysinternals, lots of geeky tools. Zoom It is a really good tool for anybody who's doing like online presentations, I think. Robin in the chat said it's also great for annotating video. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes, sometimes it's easier for me, depending on what kind of mood I'm in. If I want to record a demonstration of how to do something, sometimes I just record my screen. And as I'm recording my screen, I can use Zoom It to zoom in around on my screen and draw on my screen. That saves me time from using a tool like Clipchamp later of going into the tool and adding circles and text and arrows and stuff like that. I can just do it live as I'm talking about it. And I'm not worrying about like, how many seconds does this arrow need to be on the screen? I'm just doing all of that processing in my mind live as I'm making the video. So yeah, good call out there. Joe, how many tools do I get to do?
Um, you could do. Are you in a place where you could do maybe something we would like to call out as taking advantage of PowerPoint Live?
I have a power toys queued up.
You want power? Yeah, power
Is
to
that going to
power.
step on
It's
your
all
toes?
about power today.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we're all
Let's
about
do some
power.
power
We
toys.
PowerPoint, obviously for sure too. Um, another classic, another like Joe Power Toys came out. I remember that back in like I think XP days. We were using it for synchronizing files to a SharePoint site.
Yeah.
It was called
SyncToy.
SyncToy. Yeah.
SyncToy.
It's another very old suite of tools. These, however, are a little bit easier to get. They are available directly in the Windows Store on your computer. So typically you can install stuff from there if your organization allows you, without requiring administrative rights on your computer. But if you have the Windows Store, try it. Type in Power Toys, and you'll just search for that. And this is the logo that you're looking for. It will be an application. Excuse me. It'll be an application on your computer, and this application turns on all these like little like widgets, and gadgets, and stuff that you can do. You can see all these things that are available for you to add additional capabilities to your computer. Some of the ones that I really like is I like the color picker, which I'll be able to show. I like fancy zones because I use a very large monitor. My monitor is, and this is not like Dwayne flexing, this is just explaining the situation. I use a 49-inch monitor that's an ultra wide. So it's very wide, but kind of narrow in height. And I like to use it like it's three different monitors. So I have fancy zones that I can snap my different windows into to shape them to fit into the areas I want on my monitor. So I'll show that. Mouse highlighter. If you lose your mouse, you know, I used hopefully Joe, is my mouse coming over green and
Yeah, it's
giant?
green.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in the big green mouse club because I have a 49-inch monitor and I lose my mouse. It also helps for screen sharing using a green arrow. It helps people understand what you're looking at. Text extractor is really cool. There's a lot. There's a lot in here. But I'm just going to show a couple of the basic ones I think first. So the first one is going to be fancy zones. Fancy zones lets me create a layout on my computer. And you can see in the background, I've got these three rectangles now. That's just what you get out of the box. You can create your own layout. You can customize a layout. You can make a layout, like you can make zones in the layout that are, a specific size. Maybe you want to have a zone I use a zone that's 1920 by 1080, which is exactly how I'm sharing this to you right now, as I have this application snapped to a zone that's 1920 by 1080, which is HD. What most normal monitors these days are capable of showing. So that's why I use that zone for screen sharing. But once you have your zones set up and set the way you like, if you grab a hold of a window and you just hold the shift key on your keyboard, you'll see the zones light up. And as I'm moving this window, you can see the zone kind of change colors, and I go, boop, and it snaps it to that part of my screen. Maybe I've got a different application running and I want to snap it over there. And then, I'm working in my browser. So I want to grab my browser and snap it in the middle. So you'll start to see how this becomes kind of nice of I just created 3 zones and I can snap 3 applications across it and share them evenly across all the screen real estate that I have. If you had a big wide monitor, you could make 3 main ones if you wanted, and carve up your monitor basically into different areas, which makes it really easy to see where stuff's at.
I like a
Um,
little I like a little panel that is like one column on the left or right that's a couple sections where I can snap and bring in individual team chats.
yeah,
So just I'm like I'm working with somebody for a while. It's going to be all afternoon. I can snap their chat out and bring it into a little panel, and it kind of doesn't get lost among other things that I'm working on.
yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Um, Power Toys Run is kind of nice. I'm not a Mac user, but I feel like this looks like a Mac thing. Any Mac user on the call, please tell me what this thing's called. But I've seen my Mac friends like they just pull up like a search box and they type in like, oh, I want to run my calculator, and it just pops up wherever they are, no matter what computer they're on or screen they're on. They pop this thing up and they just start typing in whatever it is that they want, and it finds it and they open it. It's like a universal start menu. Um, they have that in Power Toys. Power Toys kind of adds that capability. Okay, somebody said it's called Spotlight. Uh, so this is, yeah, a couple of people said Spotlight, so that must be what I'm thinking of. I don't know how to turn that on a Mac, but if you have Power Toys on your computer, it's Alt Space. So wherever I am, I can hit Alt Space and I can type in, Notepad and open it up and run it. It saves me some keyboard time, some mousing time. I don't have to open a start menu or anything like that. It's just like a universal search that pops up wherever you are. That I think's pretty cool. The next one that I'll show that I think is nice for our graphic designer people, and then I'm gonna hand it back to Joe, is color picker. If you're working on a presentation and you are looking for colors, hex codes, RGB codes, those types of things, maybe you're looking at, I don't know, a particular picture or a slide and you want to copy the color that's there so it matches. It's Windows key, Shift key, C key. Those are the keyboards keys I just picked, and I think I can show, where is that color picker? Yeah, so Windows, Shift, C. If you pick all, or if you hit all those at the same time, I can go Win Shift C, and you see my mouse. As I'm moving my mouse around, I'm getting the hex codes of whatever color my mouse is currently hovering over. This would be kind of like the eyedropper in PowerPoint, but it's for the entire operating system. Like I can do this anywhere I want. Pull a color from a website, pull a color from that green right there. I don't know if y'all can see that. And if I click my mouse, it's going to select that color, give me complementary colors, and then give me hex RGB, and I don't know what HSL is, but I can just copy that real quick, and it's copied to my clipboard, and I can throw that in my, Paint editor. I just said Paint editor, MS Paint, whatever it is that you're using, PowerPoint, and drop that hex code in there real quick. So that you have it. I know some of our graphic designers probably have hex codes like memorized, but us normal people that can't do that, I need to copy it from something. So I like color picker quite a bit. That's one I use when I'm designing stuff in PowerPoint quite a bit.
I like that you'll find like color pickers in apps, but they get stuck in the app kind of. So it's
Yes.
hard to
Yeah.
get them outside the bounds of the app where this
Yeah.
doesn't have that problem.
Yeah. That's why I use this one, because I can use it anywhere I'm at, and it's just a keyboard shortcut, no matter what I'm looking at. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Joe. I didn't leave you a whole lot of time. You got another
No, it's
one?
all right. We'll see what we can get through here. I'm
Okay.
gonna pick a couple more real quick. Um, kind of continuing along the lines of helping with some presentations. Actually, there's one power toys that I like, and that is the ability to work with accented characters. Real quick, how have you ever had to type like the Alt key and hold down, type 1, 2, 3, 8, on your number key to get some weird accented character? With Power Toys now, accented character, it's as simple as typing the character that you want, and then while you're holding that character down, type the space bar, and you've got all the possible accents related to that character, and you can pick one, select it, and you're in. Anyways, that saves a whole lot of looking up character codes to try to pull that off, and that will work in anywhere you can type. I think from time wise, we're going to finish up with the Windows snipping tool. So this is built into, so you'll have this in Windows 10, Windows 11. Windows 11 has an extra feature in it. This is a great tool to just come in. I can just create a new screenshot of something that I want. There is a Windows key plus Shift plus S for snapshot, you could remember, or snipping tool. And easy to just come in and pick a section, an area that you want. You can choose a window, a rectangle. Again, very easy to do that. Helpful when you're maybe asking for help or developing help, maybe a manual or a document. But what's you'll get in the newer versions of this is the ability to do a short little video. So now I can do a quick video. Let's say I want to show someone how to personalize their background or something like that right now. I'm just going to do the new video. I'm going to select the area that I want to record, and I can hit start. Gives me a little countdown. Now it's going to record my screen. I can move around, make some choices in here. I could be recording over the top of this if I wanted to. All good with that. Easy to stop. Now my snipping tool has a short little video that would walk through that very quickly. So really easy to get, like maybe you're having problems with something on your computer. It's so easy to a couple screenshots, but maybe you can actually show something happening sometimes. Or again, helping someone understand how to do something and produce these little videos like this. Very good little tool that you could then eventually, like right here, edit in Clipchamp and enhance that and take that on further. So
They're making it pretty easy nowadays, which is
yeah,
nice because you can record a video. So you want to show somebody how to do something, Win Shift S, click the camera, do a recording. You could even, like Joe had, yeah, the mic option. You could voice over, combine that with Zoom it, and now you're running around and annotating as you're doing it. Export it to a video and save it in your OneDrive. Copy a link and drop it in Teams, and it will drop that video right in the Teams chat, and they can just click play right in the Teams chat and play the video right there without even going into another application. Or if you want to get really advanced with it, I say really advanced. If you want to get more advanced with it, yeah, soon we'll just have edit and Clipchamp, and you can annotate and splice and transition all kinds of stuff. So they've really sped up the process of creating some of these little videos, putting all these tools really close to each other.
I can do this in 30 seconds. I want to show you. This is Microsoft Stream. This is part of your Office suite of tools. It also has the ability to do some recordings, but it can bring in your camera. So I can say, I want to do recording, bring your camera in. I want to do a screen recording of a presentation of some sort, or maybe I want to be on camera while this is happening. I can say screen, and I have an option where I have a little place where I can move my video camera. I can make a change to the background of that if I want, maybe no background. Now I can be in a little area. I can start a screen recording. I can pick a window or entire screen, or just some type of app if I wanted to. And I'm off to the races with another way to do some recordings that'll go up into your OneDrive. Again, do some integrations, enhance it with Clipchamp down the road if you want. That's just another tool that's hidden kind of in there. Sometimes we talk about PowerPoint has a recorder built in too. So there's all these little tools to kind of really, if I know we've got a lot of extension agents need to be content creators. Quick, easy wins here to take advantage of some of these tools that are built in like this.
Awesome. Well, we're at that hour mark. So that was several tools, tools within tools. So kind of like a little inception there, toolception. But hopefully y'all found some little nuggets that were, again, the idea is to show you little things that will make tasks a little quicker, maybe make a workflow a little quicker, between Zoomit and the snipping tool and Clipchamp, like you can string those together and have a pretty polished video at the end of that process relatively quickly. But hopefully you found these tools useful. We're going to shut down the recording, but stay on the call for a little while longer. So if you have any questions or comments or want to see something more in depth, let us know. But if you're not hanging out for Q&A, thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you.